Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube channel once more, the Goodwill Spreader, aka Miles Tech. Today, I will be tackling a bit of a different kind of video. I will be tackling a top 10, or well, my personal top 10 Naruto fanfics. Good fanfics of excellent quality that don't involve bashing, don't involve out of character attitudes, don't involve literally betrayal, don't involve beatings, don't involve any of the cliches that plagued fanfiction nowadays. These are a minority of fics that, in my opinion, you should give a read. Starting on the number 10 spot, Drifting by Alpha Delta 1001. Alpha Delta has a knack for writing interesting stories. Among them, Drifting. Naruto is many things: troublesome, wild, unpredictable, adventurous, untamable, unique. But there is a benefit to being wild and unpredictable. No one has the faintest idea what you're going to do next. Naruto harem. Before people start harping about harems and how terrible they are, it doesn't feature prominently in the first chapters. It's a late thing and it's not overt. That aside, the fic has a number of interesting points. First, it's Naruto Tayuya, an odd pairing that not many bother to try and write or even write correctly. The second, Naruto is pretty adventurous, far more than his canon counterpart here, and this actually brings some numerous changes overall, all for the better. Of course, there are other changes that I won't spoil, so you should read them, but Alpha Delta has the habit of giving the villains upgrades, better equipment, but not simply material equipment, but really more like general advantages of the setting that the writers of the movies, because he uses at times movie villains, didn't bother to exploit. However, there is one particular point I love about this thing. It's pretty much a reference to Grappler Baki. If you don't know what's Grappler Baki about, it's a very seinen martial arts manga. It has shonen elements, but it's more seinen than shonen. There is a point where Baki literally sleeps between the fists of an old karate master, and if you aren't aware, in this genre of martial arts, usually the older the master, the thugger they are. Like, they can punch your teeth in before you even notice. If you don't believe me, please go look Pai Mei Kill Bill. The next in the 9th spot is Small Changes by Digitize27. Digitize27 is also famous for writing the fanfic Sage, a Naruto Fu fanfic with a renegade Naruto. Among the bad renegade Naruto fanfics that populate the fandom, Sage is perhaps one of the more decent ones, but that's not the one we will be talking about here. It's small changes, really. How much can small things affect the world? Like the color of someone's hair, their mentor, maybe their date of birth. Well, it's up for adaptation because the author didn't like how the manga ended. It's still one of the best Naruto Anko fanfics on the website. I would say it's pretty much the best because, like others, they try to match age with age, and that helps to avoid the potential uncanny valley, the potential feelings that you're writing pedophilia, which happens surprisingly often in fanfiction. That being said, this fanfic is fairly interesting because Naruto is born much earlier, same along Anko, and they are sorta fierce friends, and they become more than friends because when Anko comes back from whatever Orochimaru did to her, aka the Corset Seal, she needs a friend, and Naruto happens to be there to be that friend. The pairing evolves in a natural manner, and there are numerous hijinks. There was also a subplot where Fu fell in love with Naruto, and due to Naruto not willing to have a polygamous relationship, Fu took it well. On the 8th spot we have Team 8, one of the most interesting fanfics. What if Naruto had been selected for a different team? What if he had a different mentor? Who was the consequences would be so large? A really underappreciated fanfic, and it's really good because, aside minor criticisms regarding Itachi's characterization, but can be sorta overlooked, this fanfic takes the butterfly effect and runs with it. Despite a number of canon events happening, like the tuning exams, which are fixed points, the fic is pretty good. Why? Because Kurenai takes her time in this fic to observe Naruto, to try and use different methodologies than just telling him, no, you're a bad ninja, you suck, you have to do this how I said, that many fanfics try to use as a method of training Naruto. This fanfic instead takes careful baby steps. I repeat, careful baby steps. Kurenai, not being an expert in taijutsu and understanding that while Naruto is a brawler, he might need more refined hand-to-hand skills, makes a deal with Guy. And Guy Dawson also beats Naruto into the ground with how terrible he is, but rather, like approaching a shy animal, takes his time to help him, because Naruto is quite literally a milestone. You can't move a milestone, you can make it shift from one direction to another. You cannot make it switch paths, so to speak, with ease. Aside that, Kurenai admits that she tends to phrase every lesson she gives to Naruto with the explicit intent of Hokageship. If you can master this, you will be a closer step to being Hokage. This is a skill needed for a Hokage. Such examples could be inferred from her dialogue, from her lines. It's quite interesting how the changes also play. Tazuna dies. Haku gets recruited by Konoha and becomes pretty much the shadow of the Fire Shadow. I know, incredibly lame pun. It had to be done. The Right to Live, it's a great fanfic. It follows a femme Naruto. However, aside that, it's going to be forever unfinished because the tale is apparently cursed. If you don't believe me, go look the 29th chapter. But it's not about bashing, it's not about general village abuse, it's a rather tragic start. The matron of the orphanage has a mental breakdown, and the victim of that breakdown is Naruto. Eventually, Sarutobi catches wind of this, not literally, but he starts sniffing something odd, suspicious. And from there, everything escalates. And by escalates, I do mean escalate. Nothing ends the same for her. She ends as a ward of the Sarutobi clan, and whoever tries to say that will unbalance the village, it's that, or what I believe it's the natural consequence, having a Jinchuriki who might not be loyal to the village. And that's an important point for me. As I thought, there is no pairings per se. There are many interactions. There is friendship with Sakura and Nino. There is a breakdown of that friendship. There is Nori being happy, being sad. Well, not Nori, sorry, Naruto. Being sad, being happy, suffering tragedy at one point. Not in the same way that this tragedy happened, but it's an interesting thing. I will say give it a look. The next one in line is Uzumaki. Uzumaki by Almost Electric. You can find her in space battles, in forums, space battles to be specific. It's an amazing Fem Sasuke fanfic. I stopped reading it later on because a series of events, but it's nonetheless one of the amazing fanfics you can find. It's not a fanfic that you will be able to swallow. It features one of the most interesting reversals that I have seen in Naruto fanfiction, and a lot of tragedy, but not to the point where you can say, oh, good, more tragedy, but heart-moving, heart-wrenching tragedy. You notice I'm speaking in rather vague terms. That is because I do not wish to spoil much of the fic. Next in the list is Still My Thunder God, a very different time travel fanfic. Not the usual kind of time travel, it's involuntary time travel, but, well, everything escalates. The summary is Naruto has always carried his father's legacy in more sorry about that, in more ways than one. When an attempt to replicate the fourth's greatest technique sends him to time's long pace, he must take up that legacy far more directly than he ever dreamed. Still My Thunder God shines because for a time travel fanfic, it's great. There are many decent fanfics out there that are both time travel and great, but this one takes the cake because the consequences are palpable. You can feel them. You can smell the, I'm sorry for the language, the clusterfuck that is approaching. You can't believe it, but it will happen. When you have someone who looks a lot like Minato, and I can't stress this enough, but it's not Minato, and is in the village, and he was near where he died, where Kushina died, and is claiming that technically he's from the future, the shinobi paranoia starts to surface. And to be honest, it's great because Naruto has to maneuver around the professor, the Sandaime Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, the man who for nearly 3/4 of his life, if we assume he took the mantle in his 40s, and he took the mantle in his in his late teens, early 20s, and ruled Konoha for nearly, let's assume Minato died when he was 30, and 10 years of Naruto being born, 40 years, and he ruled for 40 years at the peace. You will notice that it's only because the war that Minato got famous. He could probably earn his fame other ways, but the war was a key factor, and after Sarutobi once more ascended to the Hokageship, the Shinobi nations experienced a decade of peace. It's one of the few things that I can say honestly that Kurokishi, a great author, but that didn't make top 10 because I'm not talking about crossovers, said once, Sarutobi was perhaps the greatest politician the elemental nations had. He managed for an entire decade to have the elemental nations in a state of peace. Not just Konoha, Iwa, Kumo, Kiri, all the other villages were in a state of relative peace. It's an amazing accomplishment, to be honest. Chasing Your Today, it's a, once more, time travel fanfic, but it's about a Hokage Sasuke traveling to save Fem Naruko here. It's interesting because Sasuke is presented as a rather pitiful figure at the start. In fact, you can read the first lines and you can really understand why he's pitiful. His lover is dead, and he's the current Jinchuriki of the Yubi, and to be honest, he's not happy at all. Nobody trusts him. He's being kept at an arm's length. He is, in a way, only carrying the mantle of Hokage because the promises he made to Naruko. It's his only time. It's only because that he even holds the seed. And when he travels back, he literally shakes the entire political landscape. He takes care of Orochimaru. He nearly manages to take out Kabuto, but Kabuto being Kabuto, it's, well, a slippery snake. He manages to absorb Itachi, and I mean, these are all minor points, really. But it's amazing how everything fits together. This is another time travel story. I would say it's really, really worth it. In the third spot, Blurred Lines, but Ignt, aka Harlequin. You can find her also in Space Battles. The summary is as follows: however strong you become, never think to bear everything alone. If you do, failure is certain. Being Uchiha Itachi is as much as a blessing as it is a curse, because most problems can be solved with a precise application of violence. You know, the important ones. Except, the important ones. Semi-self-insert Fem Itachi. The interesting thing here is how already Harlequin says that she's physically male but considers herself female, hence the pronouns. This is also true for her previous life, so while she knows she's female, everybody else sees her as a boy. And this is what makes the fanfic interesting. There are two conflicts: the possible betrayal of the Uchiha clan and the massacre of Kanon and Itachi's own struggles with her own sexuality, and neither of these are presented as a superfluous thing. They are deep problems, overreaching problems, and neither have an easy solution. There is no easy way to fix it. Harlequin has breached a few possibilities, but nothing is certain. But really, read it. The evolution of the character, the despair the character feels at times, it's amazing. It's not quite angst. It's more like a struggle to of wearing this sweat that isn't yours, that doesn't fit you. It's the best way I can find to describe the feeling this fanfic transmits. On the second spot, J Menas. Now, I want you to take a moment and I'm gonna say it. J Menas is an amazing author. Just like Harlequin, just like Almost Electric, are amazing authors and you can find them in space battles. J Menas, or Menas for short, it's an amazing. He has other tales in his profile. The Howling Wind, which he at one point abandoned and posted an interesting summary. We have let me show you. We have Pale Blood Fruit, which is also co-authored with Serendipity, and I haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure it's a good tale. Also, Serendipity has an interesting Itachi fanfic, and it didn't make the top 10 list because I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Uchiha clan. I can understand Sasuke's motives, I can understand the kid was being raped twice, but I'm not particularly the biggest fan of the clan. We have Radiant Knights, Naruto Kaguya Otsutsuki, an amazing tale of, and it's just starting. Minato survives, Kushina survives that night, and not only that, but the amazing part is how everything changes. You can say it's just a one thing. Menos manages to take the butterfly effect to its greatest effect. Don't blink, it's another great fanfic. Don't look away, not once, not even for a second. The world is coming apart at the seams and there is no time left to save it. No time for anything but cheating time, racing past it in a flash of brilliant yellow light. Namikaze Minato has come. Blink and you'll miss him. It's like Doom Cross. What makes it amazing? It's the blatant hints that the quest has, because this is a quest that's present in Dark Lord Potter, it's present in space battles, and is also present in Sufficient Velocity. Right in reverse, it's a Naruto Fem Sasuke time travel story, and the consequences of this are nothing short of massive. Everything has changed. Also, Fem Sasuke is really clingy to Naruto and has more than a few bad habits, so she's not a Sue. That aside, the fanfic is just starting, and that is my main criticisms about Menas. His tales are amazing, but they take a lot of time to get into high gear. And we have the, what is in my opinion the best Naruto fanfic ever, by Digital Tart, One Small Kindness. Uchiha Mikoto takes the hand of an outcast child, and with it rewrites the destiny of her clan. Alternate universe. One simple action and it changes the entire world of Naruto. Mikoto's actions pretty much flip the entire political landscape of Konoha upside down, for the better and for the worse. There, there are a lot of politics involved here, and I say it's rare for politics to be done in a convincing and interesting manner. Most Naruto fanfics approach this as the village council is more powerful than Hokage. Hokage move, obey, we council. That's all. And that's where idiot things such as banishment, bashing, and inept Sarutobi, senile Sarutobi, and a number of other stupid cliches happen to pop up. Or well, stupid in my opinion. One Small Kindness has none of that. Mikoto's actions are spurred in a way because he also resembles Kushina a lot, and that sparks a feeling of guilt inside her. This guilt makes her start moving forward and start questioning things about what she has done, about her current role in society and her current status inside her clan, and how are the mechanics of the clan and internal politics, and if the plans that the three main families of the Uchiha clan have in mind are even the correct thing. Are they truly the best for the clan? We know in canon that the answer is hell no. Well, with this, I really recommend you give a look to this. There are some honorary mentions for the nines and 10 spots. Anything Keiichi 18 writes, it's mostly Keiichi, 18 writes, it's popcorn. It's decent popcorn, but there is one particular fact that straddles the Clan War era. There is no village in the setting that he's working, but it's still fairly interesting. Give me one moment. Safari proves to be dumb. Google. Let us start with one of his less good fanfics, and there we have him. I'm sorry, it's Kenchi 618. There we go. The top 10 has 2 fanfics by him, 2 honorary mentions. The first, as soon as I can go to the bottom of his absurdly long profile, it's Great Clan Days. The other fanfic I can say that is also worth a mention is Better Left Unsaid. Everything else, it's literally popcorn and lacks any depth. Ninspot has this baby. I am not going through puberty again. A crack fic that takes place sometime after the epilogue of Naruto, and it's amazingly hilarious, it's amazingly funny, amazingly entertaining. It once more avoids the typical pitfalls of fanfiction and gives almost everybody an sporting chance. Even there are a few little jokes about time travel, like Teen 7 not quite remembering everything that happened within the span of the Great Mission, as it's often labeled, because it's been nearly 2 decades, 2 to 3 decades for them. And Hinata is given such amazing levels of competency, it must be read to be believed. With that being said, thank you ladies and gentlemen for taking time to watch this video. Please comment, rate, subscribe, leave me a feedback if you would like me to do a top 10 video regarding fanfics. Please tell me about it in the comment section. Share the video with your friends if you want to and if you liked it. As always, I bid you a happy weekend and a happy day. See you soon for the next video.